And that's very different. He accepted that even his closest and most loyal followers, the church's future leaders, would have their doubts and their misunderstandings. Rather than demanding absolute certainty or doctrinal orthodoxy from his followers and adopting a policy of zero tolerance, he encouraged them to explore their doubts, ask their questions, and express themselves honestly. Many people crave certainty. They don't want to have to think, agonize, or grapple with life's difficult questions for themselves. Instead, they want dogma. They want guaranteed answers. They want shoot-from-the-hip certainty. This book is not for them. Rather, Brian McLaren's work is for those who want to think, who want to bring their doubts and questions, struggles and problems with faith for an honest conversation. Instead of trying to tell you what to believe or focusing on why you should believe, he writes, my goal is to help you discover how to believe, how to search for and find a faith that is real, honest, good, enriching, and yours. Later he adds, I won't pretend to have no beliefs myself. That would be dishonest. Instead, I'll try to be open about my own conclusions without imposing them on you. A perfect faith is nowhere to be found, French reformer John Calvin once explained. So it follows that all of us are partly unbelievers. One could wish that all of his followers shared the same opinion. A few years ago, I read an account in a national newspaper by a man who, after years of unhappiness, had left the church and abandoned his faith. In the article, he explained why he had taken this difficult step. He chose to finish his piece with a short conclusion that has stayed with me ever since. It simply read, I'm happier to live with questions I cannot answer than to live with questions I cannot ask. I would like to think that this gentleman will somehow have the opportunity to read a copy of this book. I have a sneaky feeling it might just help to restore his faith. Steve Chalk, MBE, founder of Oasis Global, FaithWorks, and www.church.co.uk. Preface. A note to my readers. Several months ago, I took a day off to walk along a favorite stretch of the Potomac River, where it winds through the Appalachian Mountains before entering the coastal plain of Maryland, where I live. It was a day to think, to sort through some of my questions and doubts, to struggle with some new understandings that were forcing my faith to adapt and stretch to new dimensions. It was also a day to think about what would go into this book. I remember reaching a certain point along the old towpath just below one of the locks of the old C&O Canal. A very simple thought dawned on me there. I need faith. Here I am, someone who is writing a book on faith, and I'm realizing as never before how I need faith, not only to live my daily life to the full, but also to grow and nurture and sustain my faith itself, and to write the book you're now listening to. I suspect that the very act of listening to this book will be an act of faith for you, just as writing is for me. Realizing this, I imagine you now walking with me alongside the river, and you and I being, as of this moment, on a journey of faith together. This book can become our extended conversation. I realize that for some listeners, it is easy to relate to the experience of walking along a beautiful bend in a river, speaking of faith, shaded by tulip poplars, sycamores, and black, white, and red oaks. Many readers have friends with whom they can easily and freely share their questions about life and its meaning and purpose. Their stories of faith and doubt, their struggles with deep questions that murmur in the back of their minds like the river beside the path. But I know that other listeners find it hard to relate. Perhaps you have nobody you can talk to about these